Long day lay low. Yo, hail, what's going on, everybody? Hail to the chat, hail to Comicsgate, hail to the people out there watching on Facebook, YouTube. No one determined, and who could be more determined in the indie scene? Who's out there more often? Who's hitting the nail on the head? But this man right here, the chairman, Matt Bahr, he's going to be right back. Don't worry about it. But, yeah, we're going to be talking Rock and Roll Ninja. He went to go brush his teeth, get some lip balm it up. But look at that chair. That's a nice chair. I'm envious. I got a decent chair. Mine's okay. But it's not that. That's like a gamer's chair right there or something. It's pretty dope. We're going to say hi to the people in the chat. I did pin something. We'll talk about that as we go. We got Moromi that was here earlier. Welcome. Good to see you. We got 80s Maid. What's going on, my friend? How you doing, 80s Maid? And 80s Maid is still here. I did pull up the YouTube thing over here. Maybe I could read that better. And no, it still sucks at life. Sometimes I have Piper come in and join me, and she'll read the comments and pull them up. But she's indisposed at the moment, so we hope she has a speedy recovery. She had some surgery. Don't know what for. None of my business, to be all honest about it. But I do care and hope that she gets better soon. We miss our co-host here. She has control. She can come in and bring you guys up, pull up the comments. If I will say this right now, but I will reiterate it. If you have a question for Bahr, at me. That way, in the YouTube thing, I will see it in my other screen, and I can ask him your question. So we're gonna be talking to this man. Look at that man right there. That's a strapping lad. What's going on, man? Can't hear you. You there? Bahr? Kennedy.
My wife was calling me.
Oh,
no,
no.
She's sending me a picture of something I did wrong.
TKOB, man. TKOB. Take care of business. I'm here
No.
to navigate. No, man. I know how it goes. I don't want you getting in trouble with the lady. Yo, what's up, Devil Flyer? How you doing?
I think she sent me a picture of the faucet in the backyard, and I don't. Did I leave it on, or if there's because there's paint on it? How do I sound? Is there an echo? Do I need to put on my headphones?
No. You sound good, man. There's no echo. I hear nothing but your soothing, sultry voice.
Oh.
Kinky. Nice. We like it. What's going on, man? We got Matt Bahr. We're talking Matt Bahr. We're talking art. Talking comics. Talking all things creative. Talking my notifications going up. We are streaming to Facebook also, by the way. So if you're watching on Facebook, hit the buttons. If you have a question, hopefully I will see it in the chat. I am partially blind. Bahr, what's going on, dude? What are you doing?
What's going on, dude? Just Sunday. Working.
Sunday. It's
We're on
Sunday.
ninjas, dude.
We were discussing that backstage that it is in fact Sunday. It is the Super Bowl. Are you a fan?
I'm a fan when I'm working it.
Nice. Yes, we might talk about that if you want, but
yeah, we can, but seriously, I mean, I'll watch it. It's fun, but I'm definitely into it when I'm working the gig.
Yeah. I mean, that makes way more sense. I'm not a sports ball guy.
I'm not sure who's playing.
A couple football teams.
The
Eagles and
maybe
Kansas City. Is it the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. Well, I recognize the Chiefs quarterback.
Oh, okay. Yeah, McCaffrey or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Yo, what's going on, Admiral? How you doing? Everybody, by the way, share this out, please. Get some eyes on there. And if you have a question for Bahr, at me, I will ask him. So Matt, you and I are friends. We hang out a lot. We know each other pretty well.
This doesn't feel like an interview. This just feels like
this is what I do.
Yeah.
This is just how I do it. but you and I, we know each other very well. We hang out all the time. We hang out backstage. We bounce off each other. We talk. We have fun, And
Yeah.
I mean, this is for people watching on Facebook, YouTube, may not know who you are, stuff like that, may not know about where you come from and all this stuff. So do you know like what was like maybe your first comic or what you saw magazine wise that really sparked your like I want to do this, like even if you were like 6, like you were like,
Oh.
oh, that hit
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I have an uncle who's a couple of years older than me, and he was really into comics. My dad was really into comic books and like pulp novels and stuff.
Mm.
And then on my mom's side, I had another brother, or not brother. I had an uncle who was like a few years older than me, who was into comic books. So like they were just like
So you're
there.
born into it almost.
Yeah, yeah, they were just there. I mean, the first thing that I like really remember maybe was like Iron Fist Power
Oh,
Man,
okay, oh, that's cool.
where they were like showing like his family, like what happened to his family. And then the other thing that really like it's like if I could just dig fucking deep on the hard drive would be the Batman Hulk um supersized where they like join up.
Batman and Hulk?
Yeah, dude. It
Really?
was a giant sized comic book, right? It was giant
Right.
sized, and somehow the Hulk and Batman cross paths. There's like an interdimensional kind of guy. It's like he from the waist up, he's like a fucking dude, and then from the waist down, he's like a tank. And I think the
Hmm.
Joker's involved and shit because he's
Really?
trying to steal the
What's
thing.
up, Kevlar?
Yeah, dude, it was
I didn't know
pretty
they
dope.
crossed
I
over
mean,
that's a long time ago. I didn't even know they did it
what's going on,
that
buddy?
far back.
Dude, yeah. This is like maybe late 70s, early 80s. I think another supersized one that they did was Spider-Man and Superman. They
Huh.
did like a little meetup. I don't recall that one. I didn't have it, but that fucking Batman and the Hulk, I I fucking poured over that thing
Mm.
over and
Yeah,
over.
that sounds
Like
dope.
that's the
Like, yeah, I
thing.
like those giant size, like Conan. That was magazine sized and stuff back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But this was like full colored. It was almost like
Mm.
they took a comic and like just blew it up.
That's
You
so
know what I'm
cool, man.
saying?
You
And
still
it
have
was like
access to
bigger.
those,
It was
or
like
are they gone?
bigger. You could probably get it on eBay
Yeah, but what about you? Do
for
you
a
still have
fucking
like? Are they
chunk of
still in
change.
your possession? Do you still have
No,
those?
not
That's
that one. I have a bunch of other stuff in my possession, like a bunch of Nick Fury, a bunch of Daredevils, some
nice.
Suicide Squad #1. I got a bunch of shit that's just been like handed down to me,
Yeah.
and the cool stuff is that a lot of the stuff from one of my uncles, he like wrote his name in the comic books and shit. Like
The reader
these
copies are
aren't
for you.
sleeved comic books.
Yeah, these
Right,
are for
right,
you.
right. But it's like yeah, I have Black Panther #15,
Oh, sweet.
right? You know, where he's fighting the Klan, right?
Hmm.
But like I'm the one who put it in a bag, right? That shit was just like here's a
Yeah.
Tupperware of
Well,
comics that your uncle had, you know,
yeah,
and it
dude,
was
back
just like
then,
holy shit, and I'm
well,
like
back
flipping through,
then
I'm like,
it
what the
was just a
fuck?
reading. It was entertainment.
Yeah,
It was reading. It wasn't really like, oh man, this is gonna be worth money.
dude,
It was more roll it up,
coupons
put
are
it in your
cut
back
out.
pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's what the like. And there's a Vampirella comic book, and like the name has been, or like the crotch has been like scratched out, and like my dad's name has been like written on it. You know what I mean? And it was just like,
Nice.
so when I'm like flipping through these, I'm like feeling like the fucking family vibes coming off of them. You know,
Yeah, dude. And
because the
it's
dude
yeah,
who owned those, that uncle, he's not with us anymore.
right.
Like
And
he died of leukemia like when he was like fucking like 11 or 12, right? So like he was like buying, like that was his jam, was comics. And then I got born, and then he like died like a year or so afterwards. So like all of his stuff just kind of got like put up into an attic.
yeah,
And
at
then
least it
somebody
didn't
was
get
like,
thrown out
dude,
though.
they didn't get thrown out. No,
Yeah.
it just got like placed away in a big Tupperware thing, and then it got handed to me. And so
Yeah,
I'm just like putting them in sleeves and shit, and also like flipping through, like, oh, he fucking cut out the coupon for fucking, you know,
some sea
X-ray
monkeys.
glasses or
Let's get
fucking,
those sea monkeys.
Wolfman mask. This kid was like all about it. So
That
yeah,
Wolfman
that's
mask that was like just a piece of paper that you like
yeah, dude,
had a
just
string tied over
total
your face.
trash, just total,
Total
total trash.
trash.
But
Ah, still,
like yeah, so I remember like getting some of those as a kid. Like here's some stuff, and that's what I remember comics. So
because
I
your
was like
stuff.
hooked early, dude. I was hooked
Yeah, you
mad
were hooked.
early, and
Yeah,
like
like out the gate, dude. Out of the
yeah,
womb,
I
you're like
just
reading.
assumed and like
Yeah,
I was like connected as soon as I connected drawing and like comics and comics as a job, like that was
surreal.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
also a
Well, I
surreal
was like,
thing.
that's what I want to do. I want to draw comic
Yeah,
books. Like once you like flip it through and you're like, well, who are all these people in the front of the comic? It's like, oh, that's John Romita, that's fucking Joe Kubert. You're like, oh, okay, so somebody does this. You know what I mean? And it
right.
was like, I want that. I want to do that job.
Well,
So
and like growing up, like we like if it's as a kid, it's a fantasy thing. It's like oh, we could draw comic books. Like once you learn about it, like you could do that once you get a little older. You're like, it's really not a sustainable goal, but that fire is still there. You know what I mean? It's like no matter what we
yeah,
do, that there's something about being creative that we have to get out of. So even if it's like, yeah, I can draw comics and make like $100 a year doing it because there's really no money almost in it unless you make it big and work a
yeah,
side job, but we're gonna do it.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, can you describe maybe what it is that you might think it might be that gives us that drive, that suicidal drive almost to ignore
I
everyone,
don't know what it is, dude. It's
just pump
something
it
in
out?
you, and the thing where it's just
It's
like
something.
I need to tell, like I want to do comic books. I really want to draw comic books, and even when you're just like, okay, so like at one point I was just like knocking on Marvel's door. I was like meeting editors. I went to DC. I even met some people at Mad Magazine, and like my stuff just wasn't quite
Nice.
like there, right? It just wasn't.
How long ago was this? Do you
Dude, I
know?
was like
Like what
20.
age?
You know what
20?
I mean?
Okay.
I was like 19, 20. You know what I mean? I was
Right.
like really young, like trying to fucking knock on the door. And this was like a couple of years after Joe Madureira had gone through. So it was like, oh, well, you don't have to
Styles
be
were
like
changed.
John
Yeah.
Byrne. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my stuff was a
You
little
don't have
bit
to be a
different.
Neil Adams. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 right. Like, and but it wasn't like up to snuff. Now I bet you if I was going up to Marvel or DC right now, I bet you I could fucking nail a job if I was like not white.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I was like
I know
a
what you're saying. I
wheelchair
know what you're
sex
saying.
worker, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
I could
you'd have
probably
a book in
fucking
a
nail a
heartbeat, dude.
job
You
there.
didn't even. Yeah, you could draw with your feet.
Yeah, dude. So at the time it was like really hard, and growing up you're like, oh yeah, you could do this, but which is and like people like I don't think they give some of the kings the respect when it's like the how do I what's the words I'm fucking trying to use? There's like more NBA players than there are full time comic book illustrators.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's not
Like
the
the
easiest gig to
number of
get.
comic
Yeah.
book illustrators that exist is less than fucking the number of Navy SEALs. You know what I mean? Like how
Yeah.
many full time artists work at Marvel and at DC? Maybe 80, maybe 100.
Now, now, now,
You know what
add
I'm
to that
saying? Like
how many quality full time
I
artists
mean, I'm
exist.
talking like Dan
I know it's
Panosian.
subjective,
I'm
but
talking Ethan, Shane, Andy.
Smith,
You know what I
Andy,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah. Lepresti. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking fucking
yep. What's up, Matt?
wizards. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, the
talking
Kings, yeah,
wizard kings.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so you have maybe 100 spots.
Right.
With like maybe some like people who like and so like that's really a very small. So it was like you're really working hard to get into that like level. You know, like you're
Right.
like, man, I'm trying to get into that fucking level, working hard, drawing, learning all your fucking craft, right? And then it's just fucking hard as fuck. That's the reality of
Hmm.
it. And like, so what happens is you just kind of like side slip into production art,
Hmm.
which is what I did. It was like, oh, like Marvel doesn't want me, but fucking ABC Sports is like asking for me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well,
Like, so I mean, I just kind of like lucked into like, okay, well, I guess I'll do this other stuff. And then it was just like, oh, I have a family and oh, I have to support them. And I got to do all this other stuff that like pays well and pays more. And like I'm doing more of it, but it's not comic books, you know?
so Charles. Now that brings me up to another question actually that I was going to be asking. You brought up luck. How much of this, like, do you like? You got to have talent. You got to have drive.
Yeah.
You got to have determination. But how much of that is also a society born aspect of it too? Like where you were born, how you were raised, who you knew growing up. Like how much of that do you think factors in as well as to getting into like maybe the big guys, not just like indie, but like the big guys also? Because sometimes people could be insanely
Yeah.
skilled, but be in the middle of Iowa, have no connection to anything, and they just drift through life. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of a drive that you
there's
want
the
to do it.
drive.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure, you know, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's stopping that person out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we
Like
have the internet now, and now there's really no excuse for them to like
true.
start
Now there
generating
isn't.
stuff, right?
I mean,
But
yeah, and I guess I am mainly talking about like growing up as you grow up, like especially back before the internet, because you and I actually are very
yeah,
fortunate. We grew up with technology, so
yeah,
it
yeah,
it 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 evolved as we did. So we
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of melded into this thing and adapted with it and grew into
Dude,
it.
there was
So
a time when our video games, like outside, was cooler than the video games,
oh,
right? It
definitely,
was just
man.
like,
Yeah, we'd
oh,
get
we're gonna fucking play some Zelda. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, man.
yeah,
Did you
and
hear
then
there was this
after
fucking creek down there in the woods that we can go
dude,
climb in? Like that was fucking
yeah,
like
we could
it
play
was
with the
just fucking
daddy long
cool.
leggeds, watch
Yeah,
them crawl up our
full
arms.
lifting logs and shit, dude. It
Yeah,
was
dude,
dope.
we used to.
So like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what
we'd
we
play like
had.
Super Mario for a little bit, and then go out into the backwoods, and there's a dirt trail with a bike ramp. Like we just
Yeah,
bike
it
around
was
and
mostly
stuff.
like shit that we did at night. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, you know, I mean, we did play video games. Like we would
We
go
touched
to
grass.
a friend of ours' house, and we have like some graph paper, and we'd like start trying to figure out like the Zelda.
Yeah,
You
you
know what I
plot it
mean?
out,
Like
you map it
we had
out.
like
Yeah.
maps, and like we're like comparing like where fucking boomerangs were and shit, or like Metal Gear Solid. You know, we
Oh,
were
dude,
doing
Metal
trying to
Gear
do like
Solid
graph
was
paper and shit
dope.
with that.
But then you went
But it
out
was,
back.
you
Then you
know,
went outside and you actually played Metal Gear
yeah,
Solid. Like
yeah.
you were like, I'm gonna be Snake. You're like you
Yeah,
walked
yeah,
around.
dude. Or
Yeah.
one time we tried to tie a rope to one tree and then down to another tree, and I fucking, I was like, I'll do it. And I climbed up, and it was like, it fucking
Oh,
dropped,
dude.
dude. It was like, you know, like I had the wind knocked out of me, and they were like,
Nice.
Matt,
But
Matt,
and that's the thing, man.
oh,
But see, that
good
instills
stuff,
a
man.
creativity, that sparks creativity, that an imagination that can go into what we do now. Like
Yeah,
nowadays, half the people out there, they're just like playing video games. So there's really they're doing things that are already established. So it's hard for them to really get a new concept. And look at the
yeah.
mainstream today. There's almost nothing new coming out. Partially the
Very
reason why
little
I think
new.
very
Very
little new,
little.
very little. So yeah,
Oh,
so
what's some of the newer the newest game that I saw? It's like a Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I don't know. It's just they're not really kicking at anything.
no, dude.
I don't know.
I don't know. With video games, you
It's
know me. I don't really play them as much. And comics, man. Dude, I just picked up some old comic books
mhm.
the other day. I'll show them on topic list. But that's what I get now is either comic skate stuff or indie stuff or old books. I never pick up anything new almost from mainstream except the Silvestri thing. That's pretty dope. And I know some people don't care for it, but
I mean, you know what? I like looked at it and I was like Batman and Joker, and then I just saw like some of the inside and I put it back. I was like,
and that's fine. It's not
because
for
and then
everyone.
I came home and like went through a long box and pulled out some Cyberforce and like pulled out some fucking
So
Wolverine.
good, dude.
And it was like, I
So
think
good.
I'm gonna fucking read some Wolverine. I think,
Dude, that's what I
you
had.
know,
I think a year and a half year ago, I was doing a thing called "Excuse Me" while I whip this out, where I just pull out a comic book and
hmm
just show it on. It would be recorded, and I would show it and talk about it because it's just they were old books, and my comics are not in order, like 80% of them. So
yeah.
it'd just be like I'd pull out like Punisher Warzone #6, and I'd be like, "Oh, this is cool. Look at this," or something like that. So
Punisher
because the
War Journal #6. Is that some Jim Lee stuff?
That's Jim Lee. Yeah.
Whew.
So good,
I
dude.
think that is some of the dopest fucking Jim Lee shit, dude.
Dude,
Is fucking
it's because
Punisher.
he was fresh, man, and he was hungry,
Yeah,
So
he was like drawing shit more correctly and like varying his like fucking panels and stuff.
I
You
do
know,
like I
I feel
like
like
Jim
at the
Lee.
time there was like editors who were like kind of looking over his shoulder a little more, like, "Yo, man, why
Mm-hmm.
are you drawing your fucking bottom of the feet like that?" Or you know what I'm saying? Like they were just
Right.
like, "Yeah, hey Jim, got the new pages. Can you go ahead and redraw page 3? You know, because it looks fucking wonky." You know, but now you can't say anything. Now
Now
it's
you
just
can't
like
say
Jim Lee,
anything.
like
Yeah. Well, I do like Jim
so.
Lee's Death Blow. I like it when he inked himself, even though it's a Frank Miller ripoff.
I
I
do like the
still
first Death Blow. The
the
first
first
Death
Death Blow
Blow,
is
it looks like
sick,
he
dude.
gave a fuck. There's
He
also
did,
a darker image. Remember the
dude.
darker image book
I
that has
have.
like 4 or 5 pages?
Mhm.
It's
I have.
tight. It looks like he gave a fuck, dude.
I have.
After issue 1, he
Yeah.
didn't give a fuck.
He didn't really.
He didn't
Well,
give a
because
fuck.
he's
Like,
like,
yo,
yeah, I'm
give me
gonna pawn this
fucking
off to Tim Sale anyway. So.
yeah. Which bless your heart, Tim Sale. Rest in peace, homie.
Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, well, dude, you can still not like somebody's artwork though, if either which way. He was
You know
still,
what? I
yeah.
wasn't a big fan of Tim Sale's artwork.
I
I
liked
thought
it.
it looked a little too wonky for
It was
me.
kind of a Frank Miller light, like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it
Or like
was. Yeah,
some of
I
his like
still like it.
Long Halloween. Like I'm
Long
not a big
Halloween.
fan of some of his Long Halloween. But I will say though, like I'm watching Batman Long Halloween, the cartoon. It's all
Right.
right. It's okay.
It's
What
okay.
would have been fucking dope? Okay, I'm just pitching this. What would have been dope is if they did
Pitch
a
it.
CG version, CG version,
Hmm?
CGI. Fuck, I got CG. Hail
Get
Confiscate. I got
CG on your
CG on the
brain,
brain.
man.
Uh, if they gave it like a CGI rendition in the style of Tim Sale's artwork, you
That
know
would
what
have
I
been
mean?
sick.
Like if you were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, art department, here's copies of his book. Go ahead and fucking make your models to like resemble like that." Because I've seen him do the toys that look like
Dude,
Tim
there's a
Sale, like Tim Sale fucking
right.
drawings, right? So it's
There
like, well, then just make the whole fucking movie like that instead
right.
of these like weird like shoved down your throats fucking animation they're giving us.
Well, there's a Batman black and white statue of Mike Mignola Batman, and it looks like a 3D panel of their art. Like it's amazing. Like it looks like
Yeah,
Mike Mignola drew it, and then they just
yeah,
like made it three dimensional.
yeah. Some of
It's
those
so
are really
sick,
cool.
dude. I've been wanting that forever, and
Mm.
I haven't got it yet. But
I
and that's
always
this.
regret not buying the Hellboy figures that were like in shape just like how Mignola had drawn them.
Oh yeah, dude. Stuff like that's sick, man, and I love it. And this brings me up to another thing. Your style, your art. It's very like when I first saw it, I thought, and I know this is might not seem accurate, but I thought the non Michael Golden. Like it just, I was like, this is some seriously sick, cool stuff. Like it's got that realism, cartoony vibe to it.
Mm.
It's so good. Like
Thanks, man.
what were some of the people that you like? I know some of them, but what were some like they may not? What were some of the people that really sparked your like oh I love this, I'm going to incorporate this the way this guy draws like eyeballs or knuckles or something like what? Who did you
Yeah, I
draw
definitely
from?
like if there was a smorgasbord, if there was a low country boil, in that would be fucking who the fuck did you just say? Michael Golden.
Golden.
He would be in there. Joe Capullo would be in there. No, not Joe Capullo.
I would say
What's his
Greg
fucking
Capullo.
name? Greg Capullo. See, I'm fucking his name up on
It's
purpose.
okay.
Um, Jeff Darrow. There's a couple of European guys. I like Jack Davis a lot.
Mm. I know
You know,
quietly is one too, right?
Quietly I love. Yeah, yeah. So it's like I'm not trying to ape any single person. You know what I
No.
mean? But
Well,
like I do like if you're looking like people have done that. Like they've been like, oh man, I see you like so and it's like fuck yeah, you could see it. You see that I'm like
Well, and that's
I
the
like
thing.
it.
It's not aping as much as just like being
Mhm.
inspired by, and you incorporate people's styles in a way and adapt them, but you make them like you incorporate your own voice into them
Yeah.
as to where it makes it yours. Like people could see the backdrop here. I mean, it's gorgeous. You know, the line work, your line work's awesome. And you work in both mediums too. Like, it's not like you're like, oh, I'm just a digital dude. Like, I've seen you when you hammer out a traditional, like, you'll be on a stream sketching and forget about it, dude. It's disgustingly
Yeah,
good.
I think I might do the next one with more traditional stuff.
Well, people like to buy the traditional pages on top
Yeah,
of it, but
I'm new
it's
to
not
that,
like,
dude. Nobody gives a fucking production art. You know what I mean? Nobody's like, hey, can I buy those fucking storyboards? Or hey, can I buy, you know what I mean? Like,
honestly, I
nobody
do.
gives a shit. You know?
I kind of like those, but I like if you look up Derek Hess, he
Mm-hmm.
has a very sketchy art style, and I like that kind of preliminary
Mm.
blueprinty type looking stuff. So like Frega, I would love to get my hands on the because he did the
I would too. Yeah,
storyboards
yeah.
for the
Hmm.
Corn video of Coming Undone. I think. I
Oh,
think he did the storyboards for that for when they come undone, and I would,
yeah, yeah.
dude, I would love to
Does
have
he have
those.
them? Does he have any
I
of them?
don't, I don't know if he
You
still
just
has
ask
them or
him.
not. I'll have to hit him up, but like I love stuff.
He'd
I
be like,
love
"Oh yeah, man,
pre-production.
I'd love to fucking make some room. Yeah, here, let me send you like 12 of them. You
Yeah, I
pick
could be like, hey man, I'll trade you money for those. Like, I think people
maybe,
accept that maybe, but
maybe,
I like the
dude.
pre-production
One
stuff.
time, like most of the paintings that I do for, I'm not. This is humble bragging. I'm trying not to.
Brag away,
These some
dude.
of the
Brag
paintings
away.
that
No,
I
no,
do
no.
for the
They're two-time
NFL.
Emmy nominated. Brag
I
away.
know. Like and share, mothers.
Like and share.
Like and share, like and share. Dude, most of the time they like fucking disappear, right? I'll
Hmm.
like they'll like get shipped somewhere, and then and I'll say, "Yo, man, so where's the painting?" Yeah, we're not sure where it is. It fucking
What?
disappears, dude. Yes. Or I'm like, "What the fuck?"
How do you
Right? And like
wait?
for 2 years, I was like, "What the fuck, man?" And then my boss was like, "Dude, just it is what it is. All right, so just keep, you got paid for the paintings. Don't stress about it." And it was like once, and then he was like, "It is what it is," which is like it's basically like fucking code for like fucking shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
Just shut up, man. Just shut up.
yeah,
But
yeah. He'd be
wait,
like,
so
"Yo,
these
it is what it
giant.
is, man.
All
It
right,
is what it
let's
is."
let's
And
let's
I'm like, all right,
let's go into that for
enough of
like a
that.
couple seconds. Like these paintings, for everyone knows, it's not like they're like 9 by 12 or like 12. These are like how big? These are like
Like 12 by 12,
feet
like
or inches.
uh feet, dude. We
See,
get like a
these
giant
things are those are
canvases.
disappearing.
Yeah,
You're,
dude.
oh
So
jeez,
it's like
dude.
those disappear, right? It's like, what the fuck? Where did this go? Like they just disappear, except for a couple of the players will like take them, right? Which is just like, yeah, like please
That's
fucking
kind of cool
take my
though.
painting. That's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. It's just the times where it's like, yeah, we don't know where the painting went. You don't know where it went, man.
I'm
It's in
sorry, man.
somebody's fucking apartment now, that's for sure. You know what I mean? It's like hanging up somewhere in somebody's fucking garage, you know?
Either way, it's a
So
little
I go to the
flattering.
set and I'm like, oh, I'm always eyeballing the fucking, like, the grips and the fucking
I know it's
best
you.
boys. I'm like, best boys. I'm like, best fucking thieves. One of you guys fucking stole my shit last time, you know what I
I
mean?
know
I'm
you
like,
did. I know it was
yeah.
you.
I know
You
one
check
of
your
you fucking
garage.
people. Yeah, I'll go. I'll get you a Chick-fil-A sandwich. But I know you fucking stole my
Chick-fil-A
painting,
sandwich.
right?
So,
But
so
like one time, dude, I like I got the paintings back and I like sold them and I sold them to a like a sports bar and I think they got a little like not mad but they got a little ruffled. They got a little ruffled and we're like, we just want to
oh,
make sure we know where the paintings are in case we ever need to shoot. And it was like Cam Newton doing some Carolina shit that I
hmm.
painted for when he went to the Super Bowl and yeah, dude. Like as I was painting the painting, I like took a couple of photos and like put them on social media, and people were already like fucking hitting me up. Like, is this gonna be on air? Like, I'll fucking give you da, 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 da,
Oh,
da,
dude,
for
people
these
pay
fucking
yeah,
paintings if you
big money for stuff that was
if
on
you
there.
yeah
Yeah.
if these and I'm pretty sure I'm like yeah these are planned to be on air. And as soon as I saw them in his fucking interview, his Super Bowl interview, I was just like. Cha-ching, cha-ching,
Yeah.
cha-ching,
Oh yeah.
cha-ching, cha-ching. Right? And then after that, I was like, yo, those. I had my eyes on those paintings, dude. Right? And they were like shooting the paint. I was like just standing over in the corner, just like, all right, we're
It-
done shooting. Okay, wrapping them up. And I like wrap them up and put them in the duffel bag and be like, bye. And then my boss was like, hey man, where are you going with those? I'm
Where
like,
you going with those, man?
yeah.
Huh?
I'm like, I'm leaving.
And I'm taking them with me.
I'm just putting them over here by my car. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry yourself. Don't worry yourself.
Hey, these paintings disappear all the time. Right?
What does it matter if it's me taking them?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Don't stress it.
And see, okay, this brings me up to that. Like obviously, you and me, comics. That's the love. And I got out of collecting and all that stuff for a while too. But you didn't get out of it. But you kind of you veered your journey took you to a different path. And like you said, ABC picked you up and stuff like that. So like briefly, how did that happen? Like, did they just like see you in college, or was it like just
no, dude, it's all word of mouth.
Like,
it's all like word of mouth, like pretty much. Like, I was working at a restaurant, right? I was working in a restaurant with a couple of people. You know, everybody's just fucking.
No, were you also tattooing on the side? Because I know you did some tattooing too.
No, I didn't do that until much later.
Okay.
Until much later. Yeah. So
restaurant.
Yeah, so it's like in a restaurant. You know, we're servers. You know, I know a couple of people. They're all trying to do stuff. Like everybody's a waiter, but they're all trying to like do shit. You know what I mean?
Everybody's got a side gig. Yeah.
A side gig or like something that they really want to do. Like, you know, this one dude this one dude who was like a host, right? I was always fucking pissed off at him, right? Like he was like never putting people in my fucking area, or he would like just load up my area for like brunch. You know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah.
like, oh, fuck, dude, like why are you putting everybody in my area? And he's like, I'm sorry, you have the you know the fucking front of the house, and it's like, fuck, man, you know. And I would just fucking like totally shit on this dude, and then I would like draw like these little drawings of him, like, this is you fucking idiot.
This is you,
you fucking retard. Look at you. This is what you look like in my fucking eyes, man. And it would just be like this little T-Rex fucked up fucking dude, right? And be like, man, you know what I'm saying, dude? Fuck. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And like, but like, he would laugh at the drawings, and everybody would laugh at the drawings. And turns out, like, he was like going to school for like communication, and
really?
was like, yeah, fucking right. He's going to school. He's going to school for communication, and he ends up getting a PA gig at ABC.
Oh, right? What's a PA gig?
It's like a production assistant. It's like a just above fucking intern.
Gotcha,
like he had interned. He had interned at Cartoon Network.
Okay.
When it was in New York, and then he finally got like a job over at ABC as a PA, and then like moved up a little bit, and so they were in a meeting one day and was like, yeah, we need to get some artwork done for this thing. Like, what do you think? And like, he was like, yo, I know this guy named Six who'll fucking do it.
Nice.
And so so he like came to the restaurant, and I was like, what's up? And he was like, yeah, you know, do you want to come and meet these people at ABC? Bring your portfolio. Right? And I was like, what the fuck?
Like, you gonna keep double seating me?
I was like, what is this shit, dude? Like in my head, I'm like, what is this fucking shit, dude? Right? And I'm like, all right. So I bring up my portfolio, which is like just like interior pages. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like there's like Daredevil pages. There's like Spider-Man pinups. There's like some Batman and Catwoman shit going down. Like it was a fucking.
This is stuff you did on your free time or college?
College and my free time, because I was going to conventions and shit all the time, and
trying to get
meeting editors. Yeah. And this is when like editors would be like, "Yeah, let me see your portfolio.
Oh, look at your anatomy. Oh, perspective.
Yeah. Hey, man, not bad. I like this. Okay. And like you come back and it's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on, Bahr? Yeah, let me see what you got." You know, and you're like, "Yes, here's a new set of 4 or 5 pages." You know what I mean? It's like you're constantly meeting these guys, and so like you want work from them, so you got to show some
samples,
some chutzpah. You know what I mean? You got to get some like, yo, I'm fucking in it to win it. You know?
Right. So you brought these with you to like ABC.
Right. So I brought this to ABC, and they just fucking lost their mind. and
Nice.
like how dope this was, and like
Yeah.
suddenly it was like, oh, we could shoot it like this, and then we can like incorporate this, and suddenly like all the stuff that I was drawing was like shit that they could do, right?
Yeah. And
Stuff
then
that they were able to like incorporate and was like giving them. So I was just like standing there, and then it was like, all right, well, so what are you doing right now? Like, are you working right now? And I was like, I'm a garde manger chef at Russian Tea Room right now. That's where I was working at that time.
yeah.
I was in the kitchen at the Russian Tea Room, and I was like, I'm just a chef at the Russian Tea Room. And they were like, all right, well, this is how much money we'll pay you if you just come in and you start like doing storyboards and just like conceptual drawings for us and stuff. And so that just, I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
Which it was
great.
like, holy fuck. And I like went home
That's
and told my
crazy.
wife how
Yeah.
much I was like going to make it. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I was like kind of fucking weird and ballsy. And I was like, yeah, I want this much a fucking week. This much. And they're like, okay, with taxes. I was like, no, 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 no. You cover my fucking taxes. I want this much.
You covered
Because
that.
I was just like, this is bullshit, right? I was like, who the fuck are these guys? And they're like, okay. And they fucking like paid me so that I had like what I asked for.
Right.
Which, okay, it was just like, but I had to be there fucking like I was there like nonstop, like
Yeah.
fucking like drawing, and I made like tarot cards for
Oh,
fucking
sweet.
for
I
stuff.
was
So it
wanting
was
to
like
do
this
those.
woman's
Yeah.
like flipping tarot cards, and like she'll flip it over and it'll be like the Steelers, and flip it
Yeah.
over it'll be the fucking Broncos. You know what
That's
I mean? I was
cool.
doing
Yeah.
all kinds of shit for them.
But see, and that's the thing about comics is people don't realize like it's storyboards a lot of the times. Like it really is. Only it's keyframes. Like it's
Yeah.
like this is your keyframe for this and this. So them seeing the comic book panel work, I'm sure was like, wow, this guy can actually already establish a sense of storytelling and
Mm-hmm.
humor. And the other thing is they didn't know this at the time, but you're really quick. Like you're fast.
Yeah,
And
especially
good.
if it's like
Yeah.
if it's like looser stuff, it's just like
Yeah.
which I mean, you start doing it in front of people, it starts to like
It blows their mind, dude.
but
It
yeah,
does.
dude, it's almost like magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they're like, "Hey, what about this?" And you're like, "You mean like this? Something like this?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's what I want."
That.
Thanks,
That.
Bar. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're like, "Fuck yeah, I just justified my fucking job today." Yeah.
And so
You're just like,
yeah, that's
"Ooh,
sweet.
I heard they're fucking laying people off
So
in this
then,
department."
like, you out of all that, like, you go from this kitchen into like this entertainment industry, which is just like the sports
Yeah.
industry, and you're working on crazy stuff, which is dope. Like, I know some of the projects you got two. We're gonna brag. You got 2 Emmy nominations under your belt, which is sick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's disgustingly good. And then, so how do you go from I got all that?
They're really important until I actually get the Emmy. Then
Yeah.
then it's not a big deal. Then
Yeah,
then
but
I'm not
you're
gonna
still
take it.
mad, and you're still mad that you don't get it. But once you get it, you're like, eh. But so how do you go from all right, I'm getting Emmy nominations, all this other, I know you got one reason, but to like all right, I really love comics though. I gotta get into comics. Like what was your first step into the indie scene? Like how did you get there? How did you get work on Rock and Roll Ninja? And stuff
Like everybody else, your boy Zach.
Mm.
Basically, I comic books. I had started to get really fucking disenfranchised with comic books. The last thing I was buying on the regular was anything like Jupiter Legacy, Walking Dead,
So still
and
indie stuff though.
I guess so, and
Yeah.
Batman,
Oh,
like
Batman. Yeah.
Capullo Batman.
Capullo Batman, yeah.
I was getting
You
right.
get that for
So
the artwork, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I thought the Court of Owls stuff was kind of interesting.
Court of Owls
and
is
how
dope,
like
dude.
like
Yeah.
there actually is a 13th floor in a lot of these buildings, and they're fucking hidden layers for this fucking group. Like I thought
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Because like living in a city, you're always like looking at the elevator and you go, "Where's fucking 13?" You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's a real thing. So I thought that was cool. So that was like some of the last stuff that I was buying, and like was like going okay. Because man, there was a time, dude, I was going to the comic book store, and I don't know about you, but I wouldn't even get home to read them. I would
Right.
buy them, get into my car, and then just start fucking reading them.
Yeah, I would right when I get
And
home.
then
The
I would
first thing I
fucking
would do
drive
is flip them
home
open
and
when I
like
could read them. Yeah,
again.
yeah,
You know? And then near the end, it was just like I'd go in there and like buy what was in my box. You know what I
And
mean? My
that
holding
even got
box.
smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was just like putting it. I was just fucking stacking them up, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It was just
Yep.
I was just like stacking shit up that I wasn't reading, and then I finally just like canceled my
I have.
boxes. He was like, "Yo, I need you to have like 6 titles," and I was like,
I can't do
"I
it.
can't do it, bro. I
Dude,
can't do
I
it."
got long boxes, and that's plural, of stuff I haven't read that's new. Like, I just put it
Mm.
away. It's just no good anymore. It's crap.
So I like not only was I doing like the production stuff, I was doing like screen printing, which
Mhm.
was that was really turning my bread and butter, turning into my bread and butter. And I was like sitting in this art department and just looking around and like not liking any of the people that I was working with, and I was listening to your boy Zach, and I was like, he said something about like the Marvel that you want to work for is dead.
Well, real quick, how did you come across your boy?
Just YouTubing,
Just YouTubing? Just the
yeah,
YouTube
just
rabbit hole.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just the YouTube rabbit hole. I kind of like fell into something that he said, and I thought it was funny, and then I like clicked onto his channel. I like just started getting into like YouTube and like actually watching YouTube a lot
Right.
because I was in a art director position where I wasn't doing a lot of the art.
You
I
were doing a
was
lot of
doing
hands on,
like
yeah.
fucking checking separations and like doing pre-press for shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was just
Right.
like, so I was like sitting there watching. I was like, man, this fucking job sucks. So I like started watching YouTube channels shows, and his was one of them.
Nice.
And in my head, I was going, well, I'm still doing a lot of artwork. I'm still doing as much as I can. And in my back of my head, I was going, maybe Marvel will notice me. Like maybe if I'm like, because at this point it was like, you don't send your shit to Marvel. Marvel
Right.
will contact you.
Myra will find you, yeah.
Yeah, we will find you. And so it was
Yep.
like, okay, so let me grind, but whatever. You know what I mean? It was like, why am I going to draw Spider Man when I can draw like some other shit and get paid for it? So I
Right.
was just like,
So
just
so
drawing fucking t-shirt designs and shit for football teams and stuff like that.
so you
Sports stuff. You go to like fucking. There was a time, dude. I can go into Dick's Dick's Sporting Goods store and it would be like, I drew that deer. I did that deer.
which is kind of
That
cool
fucking
though.
bass I fucking airbrushed. I fucking did that one over there. Yeah, dude. It was
Yeah, it's
kind of
kind of
wild.
dope. People are walking around with your stuff on it. And they don't even know
Dude, I
it
seen
yet.
my shit. I
Yeah.
mean, when I was in Myrtle Beach, I saw my shit everywhere, dude,
That's
because
cool,
that
man.
was where it was like the golden age of screen printing, where everybody wanted a fucking original design
It's
and
okay.
everybody wanted something illustrated.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it was like, yeah, I got a bulldog. Can you draw a bulldog sitting at a
It's okay.
bar drinking a margarita? I'd be like, hold my
Done.
margarita, dog, and I'd fucking draw it. And they'd be like, that's fantastic, man. You
Yeah,
ever
it's
come by the
wonderful. You did a
bar?
great job there, Sixer.
Great job, man. Six, you swing by the bar. I'll get you margarita. Don't you worry. So it was just like fucking churning out awesome artwork. And then it just kind of like got into dog shit where like the last job I was at, it was like people were just like coming in with artwork.
Mhm.
Like, hey, I made this in Photoshop. Can you get this on our t-shirts? And it was like,
Yeah.
sure, no problem. It just
It's not
wasn't
the
that
same.
fun.
Yeah.
So I was like sitting there listening to Zach, and he was like, "Yeah, the Marvel you want to work for is dead. You
Yeah.
know, the
I
Marvel you
remember
want
him
to work for
saying
is
that.
fucking gone." And I was
Yep.
just like, "God damn, that's fucking brutal as fuck."
It
But
hits.
true,
It really hits, dude,
it
because it's
is,
true.
dude. You're
It
just like,
hits because it's true.
you know, it was like, and that was the day my childhood dreams were placed into a small box and thrown out the fucking window. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's
It's,
it. No more fucking
goodbye.
dreams. No more childhood
Goodbye,
dreams.
dreams.
Yeah, it's time to start thinking about my death.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
really,
That
you know.
that took a drastic turn.
I mean, that's what would happen. It's like, hey, your dreams. Here's your
Gone.
mortality. Enjoy. You know.
Yeah,
How do you
but
like your
you're
mortality? Good. Good.
but you're drawing comics now. So how did like you get
All
into
right. So
that
I'm
then?
like hearing that. I'm going, oh man, he's absolutely right. And then like maybe a couple weeks later, he posts or he says Como se dice? He says, "Hey man, I'm having a hard time finding artists because of the heat that they get."
Mhm.
And I was like, that was another fucking like ping to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Marvel did was like a fucking
Yeah, it
and
hurt.
then it was like a fucking knife, right? And the knife just kind of sat there. And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for artists, so go ahead and email me," you know. And like that was like the knife getting pulled out. I was like, "Yo, hey, what's going on? My name is Matt Barr. Here's samples of my fucking artwork, right?" And and I think that I even did it in a comment. I was like, "Hey, this is my
Really
name, Matt," you know, or
interesting.
this is my name, Matt. I was like, "Hey, I'm Matt. This is my website," and it was like, "Hey, email me at at his website," which I think
Right.
everybody knows. So I was like, "Oh, fucking a!" So I emailed him. I emailed him some pages from the comic book that I did for the United Nations, and
Hmm.
I sent him a link to my website, and I sent him like two concepts, right? Um,
Right.
like
Like like
sentence
like
like sentence long
synopsises,
pitches.
a
Yeah, like
synopsis
a
of them, or
sentence
like
long pitch of
okay.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I want to do ninjas with this, and I think it'd be cool if we did that,"
Hmm.
right? And so he emailed me back and was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." We started talking and like, "Hey, what do you think about this story, adding it with the ninja story and combining it?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking cool." And he was like, "And then we'll go 50-50. We'll co-own it." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude." Like, because I was like, I don't want to fucking work for hire. And he wasn't interested in work for hire,
Right.
because that's like kind of done with that. And it's like there's so much fucking work involved in making a comic book that like there's no work for hire for me. Like I have to be like a partial something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so we started going back. So like over 24 hours, dude, we had like 90 emails. Like he doesn't call me, right? But he uses emails like they're like text messaging or something. You know what I mean? So it was just like
Yeah,
we're
there's
like
some people
emailing
that
back
do
and
that.
forth,
Yeah.
emailing back and forth, which I get, dude, because he has like a history of like people fucking with him, and he didn't know who I was, you know.
Right.
So we just started talking back and forth and start building on the pay on the story, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm going to start a Google Doc, and then I'm going to bring in Chuck Dixon to help like
That had to have been a
flush
thrill,
it out,"
dude.
and it was like, holy fuck.
That had to have been like brain matter on the wall. Like just to hear you're gonna work with Chuck Dixon.
Dude, that was dope. So, yeah, he brought him in, so he became a third partner. So the book split three ways, and so like me and Richard, we're like coming in, we're like, "Man, I want beef, and I want some fish on there, and I want some
Mm.
fennels," and somebody else was like, "What about apples, and what about some fucking
Yeah, you're
corn?"
loading it on.
Right?
Yeah.
We're just fucking throwing in all this fucking awesome shit that we want in this fucking meal, right? And Chuck Dixon was the one. I'm like old chef, right? So I'm like using like cooking allegory.
Metaphors. Yeah.
So like Chuck just kind of fucking put on the apron and just was like, "Yeah, here we go." Sauteed, he's fucking hitting it, he's fucking making shit turn on like on
Nice.
fire and stuff, right? And then it's like, "What do you think about this?" And I go, "Yeah, that's pretty dope. Here, it needs some fucking drizzle of some sauce around the edges. There we go. That looks like a nice plate."
Looks
And
delicious. Yeah.
fucking Richard is like, "Yes, this is what we want. This is what we're serving." So like we had this great idea and all this stuff, and then Chuck just kind of came in and fucking like streamlined it, and like there was like whole parts of the story where he was like, "Okay, this is gonna be like a motif, or like not a motif, but like a montage."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're like reading it, and it's like this happens all on one page, and it's all like a fucking like a rock and roll montage, and it's like, yes. Like as I'm like, yeah, this would be a fucking rock and roll montage. Like there's rock and roll, there's guitar riffs, and just shit's going down,
Nice.
And so
Yeah.
knowing the story and then seeing the story once Chuck was finished with it, it was almost like surprise. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? I was like, what happens next? I was like, I know what's gonna happen next, but how does it happen? How does he fucking like tell it? I was like, oh, I get to draw it.
And you get
Dope.
to enhance upon it, because I've heard you say before, like you haven't changed things, but like you'll adjust things in the panel, like make some stuff of your own, or
Yeah,
alter
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
character or something. So
Well,
you
you know,
actually
like,
have your own free creativity involved in the
fuck yeah, dude.
project. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I send Richard like the thumbnails. You know, like here's the thumbnails of the page. You know, but then I get to go in and just kind of fucking like draw what I want. Like so the guys get into a fight. The boys they get into a fight with this gang, right? And it's in the meatpacking district. And fucking Chuck was like, yeah, they're all like burly men. They kind of have this like Bane, and one of them is wearing like a leather mask like Bane,
Mm.
right?
Right.
And I would just like, I just took that and was like, nah, they're all wearing leather masks like Bane because it's some kind of weird fucking S&M bar, right? And so it's like so the band is like fighting off these like skinhead dudes wearing like assless chaps, and they all like, you know, and like they
Nice.
get it, and it's just funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it's
that's
like, you know,
awesome. Yeah.
somebody like it's like, yeah, so he punches a guy, you know, and I'm like, oh, what if he just punches a fucking Hare Krishna, right? So I have like him like fucking punching his Hare Krishna, and there's like flowers flying through the air, and this
Nice.
dude's fucking little hair is like. So
That's awesome.
I'm like going through. I'm like, okay, like I like Chuck is this, but like, what's fucking funny? Like I want to add this funny, but you know, I also
Right.
like to add like fucking crazy action gore. Like I love stacking shit on top, like Hard Boiled or Jeff Darrow. You know.
Oh,
So it's like
tugging
Jack
at my
Davis
strings.
and Jeff Darrow and Jeff and Michael Golden all hanging out in the same room, fucking smoking weed and fucking just like drawing shit, you know?
It's a great combination, and like there's no better thrill than being able to put yourself into the book rather than being told this is how it needs to be. And speaking of which, we do have a trailer by the Dying Days of YouTube did a trailer.
You got
let's
it.
check.
I need to stand up for a second.
All right, we're gonna check out that trailer. Here we go.
Swift, fearless, deadly. These are the men of the Military Assistance Command. They do the jobs the others don't dare to. Trained in the lethal arts, you'll never see them coming. But if you're lucky, you might just hear them rocking. Now, to regain their freedom, they have to take out the assassin clan that made them the Rock and Roll Ninja. Get your copy today.
It froze up on my end at the end, but
Did it?
yeah, I don't know why. Dude, I love that trailer, dude. There's so much detail that you put into every panel. It's sickening. Like
Thanks.
I'm like, I hate you. You're so good. It's just crazy.
What?
I'm like, there's just so much to look at that it's like I want to do that too. You know,
I want reread. I want reread.
You want Riri Williams?
Like reread quality to it. You know what I mean?
No, and there is though because
That
of
makes
that
sense.
because there's so much involved in it that you'll read it, but you're like once you go through it again, probably you're gonna see things you missed, like in the panel work and just all the little minutia that you put in.
Yeah.
It's really awesome, and I know some of this.
Which I'm just like, holy shit! Will I ever do this again? Like,
well, and
probably my next book, I probably won't put in this much fucking this much.
Before we
craziness.
tackle,
Like, can we have like maybe a comic book with like one fucking dude, not like a team of four guys constantly talking to each other and hanging with each other. And like all saying shit in the same panel, like bless your heart, fucking Chuck Dixon, but holy shit, dude!
Yeah, dude, it's awesome looking stuff.
It's dope. I mean, it's dope. And you know what the funny thing? Chuck was like, "Oh yeah, I don't go back and compare the the script.
What?
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, when I get the comic book, like I don't like see what you drew and then go back to compare.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, okay, he's calling for 5 panels on this, so let me go ahead and do 5 panels. So it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll do this in 6 panels, or I'll do
Yeah.
this in 3. I mean, most of the time, I just stick with his shit because he's
Chuck
just Chuck
Dixon.
Dixon, you know, and
Yeah.
I kind of explore within the frame, you know, like
Right. Well, yeah, and you develop, like, you work with Chuck Has, and then you also, like I said, you put yourself into it. And the way people can back this right now is you go here. I put a link in the chat and in the description. You go here. This is another book you have a little bit of work on. It's the Rambo book. Yeah.
yeah.
There's right here.
Hey, look, there's me.
There's Bahr.
Signed by, colored by Yaki.
Yeah, colored by the great Matt Yaki of Marvel, DC, and Image Comics fame. Gorgeous stuff. But if you go here, and so you go to the link is in the description and pinned, and you click on any of these. Let's click on one. I'm not signed in.
It's also,
okay, not that.
you know, I'm on the last pages, so it's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, see right here. So
But it's also going to be, if you don't catch it with this, it's also available on the new Kelsey Shannon campaign that's coming.
Yeah,
Shannon's coming out with something. Him and Richard did something, and it'll be on that one as well.
Yeah, any Richard C. Meyer project. So right now this one is live, so that's why I pinned the link. Which, I mean, you got work on this too, so it's like it's a double whammy. You get Bahr on top of Bahr. So you back the Rambo book, even a regular tier, and you can add on Rock and Roll Ninja on checkout, and you could get all Matt Bahr. And now it's not just you.
100 pages, dude. 100 pages.
100 pages. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pages.
And if you have a copy of Rock and Roll Ninja and you bring it up to me, I will doodle in it for you.
I gotta get down to where you live.
Gotta get one. I'll draw something
get down
in
to where
it.
you live.
I'll draw a little
Go
ninja
back
in the corner.
So you did say the next book you work on. So you obviously have more ideas on your own then. Like you not to tell you what they are.
Myself. I have stuff for myself. I have stuff with Zach.
Nice.
I got 2 more things with Zach, not including the Rock and Roll Ninja sequel. And then that's gonna be like my second. I think that's gonna be like my second personal one. Mandibles.
Your second. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, the Mandibles. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna redo the United Nation one.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. And real briefly, what was that?
I'm sorry.
What was that one? The United Nations one? Like just like a couple second synopsis.
Yeah. It was like
that was
2018. I think they United Nation came to me and asked me to do a comic book with a NFL guy. So the NFL guy had the name, and he had this idea about some corruption or some. It was dog shit, but I had to keep the name, and I had to keep him involved. And they released it. The book got printed. UNICEF donate distribute it and shit. It was pretty cool. And then the next year, instead of doing more comic books, they brought out fucking Greta Thornburg or whatever the fuck her name was. It was instead of comic books, we're gonna fucking have some chick yelling at you. I mean,
everyone
it was
likes that a lot more.
Really fucking hokey. Holy fuck, dude. It wasn't a nightmare, but it was kind of, because the cooler the shit got, the more the email chain got. The longer, so there was more and more people,
more and more hands in the pot. Yeah,
dude, it was insane. And so, and a lot of people hadn't even read comic books, so it's you're looking at it, you go, Gridiron Green, man, it looks like a fucking Green Lantern ripoff. Dude, I fucking know. And it was a 24/7 battle to keep them from going, hey, how about if he uses green energy to fucking make some footballs? Or how about if he uses green energy? And it was that would be like Green Lantern.
It's Green Lantern, guys.
That's like Green Lantern. Oh, really? Yes. Jesus, fuck.
Believe
in my
me,
head,
yes,
I'm just
it
going,
is.
I mean, it was holy fuck. So anyway, so I had the book. And then the NFL guy wanted to get wonky with the the artwork and with the comic book and paying me, and just like sticking to the contract, right?
Yeah.
So Daddy had to get litigious, and I got my bulldog lawyer involved, and basically like I own the rights to like the artwork.
Nice. That's good.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I could take like
You
that
could take it
original
and do it.
fucking 22 pages of it that like I created. Like the dude shows up, he fights this guy called the Crab, right? Who's like in this fucking motorized thing with like clampers. Like you seen those lumberjacks with the fucking he like grabs a tree and chops
Oh,
it
yeah,
down
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I
skins
know what
the
you're talking
fuck
about,
out of
yeah.
it, dude. Take 2 of those and put it on the fucking front of a tank.
Nice.
There's your fucking bad guy, right? It's so
Nice.
fucking Marvel. Like if you read it, like there's like a cadence.
And I've
The
seen some of the
fucking
artwork, and it's a little different than your normal style. Like,
dude, it's more like I was attempting to do like Marvel house style.
yeah,
Right?
it was. It's sick though. It's really good. I've seen
Yeah,
some of
thanks.
those pages, man.
So
Yeah.
so like I own like those pages, right? And so I'm just like chucking the name. I'm redrawing a couple of things, and then I'm getting Jimmy Ray's to like re-ink it, right?
Nice.
So
Jimmy's good,
like
dude.
so there's gonna be like multiple layers of like distance from the original, right?
Right.
Like we're gonna like re-letter it, redo the story. There's gonna be like at least 6 or 7 new pages of artwork
Nice.
because like it
Yeah.
can't be a football player,
Right.
right? It has to be somebody else. So I'm thinking it's some sort of like multi-layered fucking American gladiators kind of sport, you know,
I
that
like
they're
that
all playing
better.
in the future,
Yeah.
right?
That's sick, man. Nice.
Right?
And that's
Like that idea?
I like
And
that.
so
And that's
it's
just
like
one.
that.
So you got
it's
a couple under your belt then.
yeah.
Like,
So I'll do that, and then I'm gonna get Billy to color it, right?
Billy
And
Basco,
so-
he's also working with you on Rock and Roll Ninja.
that's right. He's doing the Zipatone for me.
Yeah.
I'm,
Nice.
I'm such a jackass for not mentioning that he's doing the Zipatone.
No, this is
Yeah,
about
he's
you,
doing-
not Billy. Yeah.
It's not all about me. It's about team.
No, it's not about
Not
Billy
me.
at all. Don't give his
So-
ego more than what it is.
He's gonna color that for me.
He's
But
good.
that really like I just kind of want to like get it out and kind of learn the ropes of crowdfunding. You know what I mean?
It's
Like I
when
wanna
you're
be
on
like,
your
okay,
own
here's
campaign, it
how
is
I
a
make-
different beast. Yeah, it really
Yes.
is. Like whenever it's
Yeah.
yours. Yeah, it's
So I don't
it's a
want
monster.
to use that. I don't want to use that first fucking flight with mandibles.
Mandibles,
I
no.
really fucking love and care about mandibles, and like that was what I was like working on before Richard.
Right.
You know, so
Well,
I just want to like I'll do the gridiron green bullshit, which it's like Guardians of Gaia. Maybe I don't know,
well,
man.
the good
I
thing
don't know.
is that you have Rock and Roll Ninja out. You've been in
Yeah.
the CG indie scene.
Last of the Seekers.
Last
I
of
did
the
some bunch of
Seekers, so it's
shit
not like
Last
you're
of the Seekers with
unknown.
Patrick.
People know who you are. So when you launch your own campaign, like yeah, it'll be its own IP. So people might be hesitant on that, but they'll at least know. Oh, Bahr's doing it. We know he delivers. We know he's good. So we can have
Well,
faith and
the
confidence.
definitely
in backing.
the thing that I'm getting Jimmy to work on, that thing, like I'm not gonna fucking put that up until like my portion of it's finished.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't want them to like I kind of learned my lesson on Rock and Roll Ninja with like timing and shit and like what to do beforehand and what I should have, you know. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm gonna have like that gridiron green shit.
It's a brick sailor.
fucking pretty much finished. I keep calling it gridiron green, but that's of course that's not gonna be the name.
It's a placeholder. It's a placeholder.
yeah, it's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
placeholder.
Yeah,
So
but it's
you know,
good to
that's already like
establish
pretty
a
much
footy.
finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
And
a
then
footy.
there's
in
like
scene.
actually a large portion of mandibles that's finished too. So
Ooh, nice.
you know, it'll.
We'll
the
talk
timing and
mandibles
stuff, I wanna
whenever
check it.
whenever that comes around.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm just,
we'll
you
have
know,
you on.
that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
dude. Yeah. Well, we're. I usually go an hour. I think we touched a lot of bases. Did you have a good time, Bahr? Did you have
I had a
fun?
great time. Did we talk about Frog G and what I did with Frog G?
We didn't
Frog G,
because I always talk about the
absolutely.
guest.
I did
Yeah,
some I did some trading cards for Absolute that was fucking dope.
So
that
dude,
Yankee
everybody
colored.
loved them. I loved them. super dope. Let me I can pull up the Frog G.
I did a couple of fucking sketch covers for Absolute that came out fucking
Sick,
bananas, dude.
dude. People,
Bananas.
yeah,
I love
people
doing
want them.
wraparound covers, dude.
People want them in auctions and everything, man. I was, dude. You drew covers better than I did, and I'm like, I hate you for it.
Oh my god.
I'm a kind of person who likes other people's artwork more than my own. So, especially whenever I see top talent work on it, I'm like, oh, I really need to step up my game. This is Frog G. Everybody go check it out back at Inkspot's Me, 48 pages, fantasy epic. Look at this.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. So
And
good, dude.
I'm doing the, it's already finished, but Fiendish 2, the back cover.
Oh, that's right. Which Irene is also on Frog G as well. So yeah, this is Matt Bahr and Matt Yaki, the supplemental cover. And whenever Matt drew the layout for this and sent it to us, we were like, that's what we want. He only did one image, so that's how good this cat is. But everybody will pick it up, get some more bar work, you know?
Right. I like the tentacles, but I'm like, man, tentacles are kind of like overused a little bit. So I articulated them. You know what I mean? Like,
I like
crazy fucking crab. Yeah, I love it, dude. I love that shit.
It's so sick, dude. And yeah, everybody get the supplemental. You can get it with, like I said, back Rock and Roll Ninja. Click the link and get the Rambo book. Get Rock and Roll Ninja. Get Matt Bahr in your life.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. Oh, by the way, Bahr.
Yes, sir.
Everyone can find you where? They are in the description below. Your YouTube and Twitter. The links are there. But let people know.
My YouTube is, I think it's just Matt 6 Bar, right?
It's Matt 6 Bahr. It's in the description below. Yeah.
And then Matt Bar 6 on Twitter.
On the Twitters. Yeah, click the links down there. Go follow this man. He's a good dude. All right, I'm going to play the outro. Thanks for swinging by, everybody. Everybody on Facebook, thank you.
This is
you're welcome, dude. This was fun. Have a good
I hope we don't do it again. I feel weird talking about myself this long. It was getting a little weird.
Next time we'll have somebody like Billy on too or something. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Later, everybody.